Hello, loves. It has been cold this week, like faux fur wearing, boot wearing cold, scarf wearing weather. And I have been so fussy, like I'm not quite sure what's been going on this week, but I have been an absolute true fusspot. And I've kind of really enjoyed wearing a couple of things, and I've been really averse to other things. And I think noticeably one of the things I'm really averse to at the moment is like berries, not cherry as you'll see, but like raspberry and strawberry, blackberry, all of the berries I've been finding kind of a bit sickly. And what I blame about that is I bought a couple of Nivea lip oils. I really love the texture of them, but they are very strongly flavoured with like a strawberry, a kind of fake strawberry scent, very sweet. And I realised after wearing them and testing them out, they were just making me feel sick. And then I just haven't been able to bear the smell of very berry-like perfumes since then. So some of my more wintry perfumes that I was picking up to sniff, that had like blackberry, raspberry, that kind of smell in, I was just like, ugh, and I was putting them away. So yeah, it's been a bit of a weird week, to be honest. But I'll start off with one that I absolutely loved wearing. I feel like this is really the season that I go in hard on Lolita Lempicka. Oh, so delicious. And I wore Mon Premiere. So this is the one that's kind of similar, quite similar to the original Lolita Lempicka Le Parfum, that is kind of a stripped back, easier going, less complex, less sexy version. I think this one's a bit sweeter. You can see I've got quite a decent dent in this one because I really do love this perfume. So if I push this big boy over here, it's got a nice yellow liquid as well because this one is sweet. So in this one you have cherry and star anise and ivy in the top. And then you've got licorice, violet, orris and amaryllis in the mid. Base notes, praline, vanilla, tonka bean, musk and vetiver. So it's extremely similar notes, if not maybe exactly the same notes as what they tell you is in Le Parfum. But this one, the musk is way lower down in the mix than it is in Le Parfum. And I'd say the cherry and the praline are way amped up. And therefore, although I can still get a sense that there's licorice and star anise in this, so it's still got that spiciness, it's still a violet perfume, which honestly is why I wore it. Because again, I did my my toning shampoo and conditioner from Lush, which is the Daddy-O shampoo and the ultraviolet conditioner. So I had violet scent in my hair. So I was trying to pick that up in some of the perfumes that I wore. But this one I think is just like the one to kind of chuck on, rather than Le Parfum, which is the one that I put on when I feel more kind of glamorous, you know. So I wore this one to work. It's just absolutely delicious. I love this perfume. And also, this one's just much more affordable. You can get this for a way lower price than the Le Parfum version, even though this is an eau de parfum. So yeah, absolutely delicious. And then, one that I realised has some crossovers, note-wise, with this. And I'd never really thought about that before, but I really noticed it when I was wearing them like next to each other. I actually wore this 2 days on the trot, this next one. I'm re-obsessed with it, and I'm glad, and it's because I don't smell this scent profile as much as I used to, because nowadays everyone just smells like tar, so, you know, I'm not even getting like actual perfumes most of the time. But guess Seductive Red. Another cherry, so I was really into the cherries this week, like really digging the cherry. And this one shares 4 notes with Lolita Lempicka. So this also has cherry, vanilla tonka and violet. And I could really get a sense of that this time because I just wore this. This one is not quite as kind of easy going, although I find this one quite easy, but like this one's really easy going because it's like the Baccarat Rouge profile, but it's like Baccarat Rouge with a hint of a fizzy violet and also a delicious cherry and almond smell. So this one has cherry, almond and pink pepper, mid notes of cherry blossom, violet and magnolia, base notes vanilla, tonka bean and sandalwood. And I just love it. Like, I loved it so much. I wanted to wear it 2 days in a row, but I was like, no, I'm going to wear something else. And then I wore something else and I didn't enjoy it. And I thought I should have just worn Guess Seductive Red again. That's what I should have done. Or I should have put on like a Mon Guerlain, one of my ones that I can literally wear anytime when I'm having such a fussy week. So, yeah, but this is my kind of version of Baccarat Rouge. And it's the one that makes me understand why people who love Baccarat Rouge and like, what's it called? I can't remember what the Zara one's called, but I feel like a lot of people have that dupe as well. Red, is that one called Red Seduction or something? I understand entirely, because I think you could get really addicted to this so easily, and I felt really addicted to it this week, but it was just really enjoyable. I wore it once at the weekend and then I wore it into work again during the week, because I just really couldn't get enough of it, frankly. I just couldn't get enough of cherry, and I was thinking to myself, oh, maybe I need some more cherry perfumes. I have a couple, more than that actually, because I have a few Lolita Lempickas. I should have worn Sweet, but maybe I'll wear that this week. I don't know. I do love a cherry. And then this one, I was in the mood for a lavender perfume, and because I was at home, I thought rather than pulling out a Mon Guerlain, which is my like easy reach, I wanted to try wearing this one again. And I got on okay with this time actually, considering it's so lotiony. I think there's just a kind of magic in this one that can pull off the lotion texture that sometimes freaks me out. And this one is Burberry Brit Rhythm. Sadly, this one's discontinued. I'd say I don't know why, but I mean, I guess it just didn't sell, which is a real shame. I do occasionally see this one for a decent price on eBay in the UK. I'm not sure how it is elsewhere in the world, but because I was trying to sell this one for a little while when I first got it, because I wasn't sure about that lotiony texture, and no one bought it, and I didn't have it on for a huge amount of money or anything. It was like 20 quid or something. For a discontinued perfume, and no one bought it, so I was like, oh, I'm just going to keep this and try it again. And then I just kind of started to enjoy it, but I had to get my head round what is quite an unusual scent here. So it's lavender, neroli, pink pepper and aldehydes in the top, mid notes of orris, petalia, orange blossom and blackberry leaf, base notes musk, woodsy notes, vetiver, cedar and coumarin. I can get a little bit of that blackberry leaf, but not enough to make it like too cloying for me this week when I was being so fussy about those berry scents. It's not syrupy, but it is very sweet in quite a sugary way. Possibly, like some people might say baby powder, but I'm not really getting baby powder from it. It just smells like a very sweet body lotion, which I think has a lot to do with the orris, orange blossom and aldehydes with a very creamy musk. And I find orange blossom often turns things into that texture. And then you've got this hint of lavender, but it's also very sweet from that coumarin. So yeah, it was just one that I just wore when I was like just around the house, and it was quite comforting. It's quite pretty. But yeah, it lasts forever, this one. I mean, a lot of the old Burberry perfumes just seem to last forever. So I don't think I needed to top up on this one at all. All right, let's go for another one that I loved wearing. And this was because I had a very fussy week, as I said. So I was like, what can I wear? Also, like I had one day last week when I had a massive headache. So I'll tell you which one I wore when I was headachy, but I still wanted to kind of smell clean and nice. But this was just one where I wanted, oh, so good. I wanted to smell fresh. This is such a good feminine freshie. Oh, it's clean, but it's not like a laundry perfume. This is Jeanne en Provence à la Ombre d'Amandiers. So it's basically a little bit of orange blossom and a lot of almond milk, but in a very sheer and slightly citrusy perfume. It's also got iris, which I think you can really smell. So top notes: orange blossom, bergamot, mandarin, orange and lemon. Mid notes: almond and milk, but I assume that's almond milk, I would say, with praline. Base notes: musk, iris and vanilla. This is musky. It has a slightly bar soapy, slightly body lotiony quality, maybe more bar soap than body lotion, this one, because it's not thick. It's very transparent and sheer. It's really light wearing. It's so good if you're very fussy or if you're around people who don't like perfumes very much. I think you could wear this somewhere where you're not supposed to wear perfume, because I think it just smells like you're fresh, showered, maybe you've got some body lotion on. I don't really think it gives much else than that, but because it's got that lovely praline and almond in it, it gives this lovely gentle sweetness that sometimes is missing from those fresher perfumes, and just a hint of something a bit creamy. The orange blossom, I think, is what gives it that kind of soapy, almost lotiony thing, along with the musk. But then you definitely can sense there's a bit of iris in here. There's a slight powdery quality as well. And it's an absolute cheapie. I mean, I think this bottle, what size is this? This is an eau de parfum, 60 ml from the Arthes group. And I think it was about £12. I love this bottle as well. I think it's so cool. And I had the refill bottle of this first, because those are only about £6 something for 100 ml, I think it is. Maybe it's the same size as this. It might be 60 actually, I can't remember. But I bought that one first because I wanted to know what it smelled like, and I put it in like a little spray bottle and fell in love with it. And I do find myself desiring to smell like this quite a lot. I really, really like it first thing in the morning, but I think a lot of people would like this for a bed scent. It's not too citrusy despite having 4 different citruses in it. It's just really pretty. I really like that one. And then here is one that I did not enjoy wearing so much. Even though, like, I'm smelling it now and it is really nice, and I liked it when I first got it. Thought it might be too masculine, and then I wore it again and I got obsessed with it. I wore it a couple of times after that and really loved wearing it, found it really cozy. And then this time round I just wasn't digging it, and it wasn't because it was too masculine. I think it's because I was tossing up between putting this one on and Stash Unspoken, and I should have just gone for Stash Unspoken because I knew I was having a fussy week. So that is the week to wear one of my tried and true anytime in cold weather perfumes. But instead, I decided to wear Love It in Dark by Jeanne Arthes. And when I first sprayed it on, I was really digging it, and then it just started to annoy me a bit throughout the day. And I'm really struggling to even explain why, because it now smells lovely to me again. I was just having a real fussy week. I think, yeah, I should have just put on Stash Unspoken. That's what I should have worn when I was feeling a bit fussy. Or I should have put on, again, Mon Guerlain or something. I think it's just quite sweet as well. And I don't know, maybe I was going and needing things that were a little bit sheerer, unless they were cherry. Because cherry sweetness I was digging this week. But you'll see, like, a couple of the other ones that I reached for when I wasn't feeling great are much just, like, lighter perfumes. And even today, actually, I'm wearing a freshie. So, yeah, it's been a bit of a weird week, really. All right, what's next? Okay, so one of them, my tried and true. I wore this on a day again. I think this was like maybe on a Saturday when I was feeling fussy. Oh, I mean, I could just put this on now. There's never a time when I don't love Skin Musk. So, you know, I wore Skin Musk, love Skin Musk. Don't need to talk too much about it. I talk about that one all the time because it is one of my absolute all-time favourite perfumes ever. Love Skin Musk. They only say musk, sandalwood and floral notes for this, but I'm sure there's vanilla in it. The sandalwood in the musk is very strong here, but it's like not animalic. It's more of a clean, slightly soapy musk. I think there's probably a bit of ylang, there's probably a bit of jasmine, there's definitely rose in here, but there's definitely vanilla in here as well. It's so easy to wear. I've said before, the cologne, I really like the smell of it. It lasts very briefly. It's very, very fleeting. Whereas the oil lasts for me for ages. And I have had a compliment on this one in a shop from the guy working behind the counter. So it does have some throw on it. Like, we weren't really close to each other, but he could smell it. So it's just a beautiful one. My husband likes this. I love it. It's one that I sometimes wear to bed because it's so comforting and delicious. And it's just the best. So the skin oil is the best one. You can get this in the UK via Fragrance X. It's normally about £10, or it used to be anywhere, on there for like a 10ml oil, which will last you for a very long time. It's just fantastic. I love it. I have backups, of course I do. And then I wore this one. I was really looking forward to wearing this because this is one that I can only wear in winter because it's very sweet. It's a little bit rich. And this is another one where I loved it for half of the day and then I was kind of done with it. And again, that is because I was just so fussy this week. And I just sort of, I don't know, I should have, again, just worn my kind of top 10, top 20 perfumes for life. I should have dipped in to those easy wear ones for me when I was feeling this fussy. But I think I've just been a bit headachy this week. I had a terrible headache. I'm going to get my eyes tested again because I think maybe I need some new glasses. I probably need a new subscription. That's not right. Prescription. So this is Fresh Cream Soft Suede. I do, though, think that this is probably my favourite from the Fresh Cream collection. I think I'm the only person who ever says that. Everyone else likes either the original or the... what's it called? Fresh Cream Warm Cashmere. The warm cashmere one, I don't think you can really get that in the UK, but you might as well just buy Sabrina Carpenter's original Sweet Tooth because they smell almost identical, and I think Sweet Tooth has less of the weird kind of slightly tarry smell, the kind of bitter wood smell that you get in the warm cashmere. So I have Sweet Tooth and I got rid of warm cashmere, but there's just something about the soft suede one. I think it's a slight smokiness that I really enjoy. Smelling it again now, I'm like, it's rich. It's kind of very vanillic. It's not quite as milky as the original, but it still has that kind of creamy vanilla smell in the background. But I think part of the richness is because there's suede in this, of course. But the other thing is that there's whiskey and caramel. So this is, it's like a vanilla caramel with a rich booze, and then a smoky suede. So yeah, when I'm in the mood for this one, I love it. I did really love it when I first sprayed it on. And you can see, like, even though this is just a little bottle, I do have a tiny dent in this one, which is, for me, not bad. But yeah, I just basically by lunchtime I was done with it and I didn't really want to reapply it because I think it was just, again, too sweet for me this week. I think it was just pushing me into a overly sweet. And I know that sounds insane because these two are both incredibly sweet perfumes, but they're sweet, syrupy cherry perfumes. Whereas this is like sweet and creamy, and this one's like quite sweet and vanillic. It's not syrupy, and actually, to be honest, this one is quite sweet in a kind of powdered sugar way. Yeah, so I don't know. Somehow these two were just really how I was feeling this week, and then anything that was a bit more kind of vanillic, I wasn't loving so much. And I was much preferring the kind of softer, more gentle perfumes. But anyway, the full set of note from Fresh Cream Soft Suede is vanilla, suede, whipped cream, caramel, whiskey, amber and musk. And you just can't get this now. You just can't get it. Like, I mean, even I got this on eBay, I think, or Vinted or something when I first got this one. They don't make this perfume anymore. But yeah, again, like, Sweet Tooth is relatively close. It doesn't have the smokiness that this does, but it's not a million miles away from it because I think this and Warm Cashmere are also quite similar. So again, I'd say go for Sweet Tooth if you want this kind of rich, slightly woody, vanilla-y, creamy smell. Especially because I think Sweet Tooth might have caramel and I can't remember. Alright, and then the last one I actually wore. Oof, just have a quick sniff. Yeah, this is the one that I put on when I had a real headache. So I had a real proper hardcore headache, I think on like Wednesday. I'd been doing some work and I'd really strained my eyes and it was just like woof. But I'd had my shower and I wanted to continue smelling nice and fresh, so I chose to put this one on. Just got this little rollerball. This is Clean Classic and this is the original, that's what it's called. So what they have on Fragrantica for the original Clean perfume is the actual original Clean perfume when it first came out. This is a new version of that perfume and it doesn't have the same notes, and reading the reviews it doesn't smell the same at all. So I'm going to read the notes that are from the actual Clean website so that they're a little bit more accurate and they're a much better description of how this smells. So Actually, I'm just going to read this whole thing. It says, inspired by a bar of soap offering the quintessentially clean scent captured in a bottle. A unique blend of aldehydic, soapy notes combined with peony and orange blossom create memorable floral freshness. Musk and sandalwood wrap the scent in a cloud of powdery softness. So, you've got top notes of peony, aldehydes, aromatic accord, mid notes of geranium, jasmine and peppercorn, dry down, orange blossom, musk and sandalwood. But somehow this just smells like my mum's laundry. This is what that smells like. So for me, a very comforting scent. I would quite like to have an actual spray bottle of this one. Although, to be honest, the rollerballs of these, are these eau de parfum? Because they're pretty strong. Yeah, eau de parfum. And I do often think, sometimes I walk past people in London and I'm just like, oh, they smell like every part of their outfit has just come out of a washing machine and a tumble dryer. And then I'm now thinking, well, maybe they're wearing one of these perfumes, right? Maybe they're just wearing a perfume that specifically smells like that, because it's sometimes really strong. And this is actually quite strong. But yeah, it just honestly, when I have it on, it just reminds me of being in very fresh out of the, in fact, specifically towels, like my mum's towels when they've come out of the tumble dryer. I don't have a tumble dryer, so I never get the joy of that when I'm at my own home. But yeah, when I'm at my mum and dad's and there's been some serious tumble drying going on, they just smell heavenly. So yeah, I love that perfume. I think it's really nice, and it's just called Clean Classic, the original Clean. So yeah, that's a really, really good one, and I like it a lot. The last thing to mention is that I was in Superdrug. I was picking up an order, and while I was waiting for them to go and get it, I was just having a look at the perfume shop, and I noticed that they're going quite hard on the advertising for Moschino Toy 2 Pearl. So that's the one in the teddy bear bottle, classic toy, and Toy 2 from Moschino, but it's got that kind of amazing blue duochrome pearlescent pretty colour. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't really like those bottles. I know they're kitsch. They're just not my vibe. They're not my kind of style. But I thought I might as well go and smell it, because I'd read something recently on Fragrantica. They had a little piece about it, talking about it being like, I think they were trying to say it was like was it a little bit complex, or was it like a mishmash? I can't really remember. But anyway, I'd go and smell it. And, oof. I mean, you know, another disappointment. So, Toy 2 from Moschino. When I first sprayed it, I was just thinking to myself, well, this just smells like something else I've smelled before. In fact, it smells like Moschino stuff that I've smelled before, because it kind of has a bit of that light blue smell, which also, in its turn, is a little bit like is it called Love Is... No, not Love Is Love. Moschino, Cheap and Chic, Love something. And then it's also got the one that's like a tea perfume. That's a Moschino one. It smells very generic to me. It does have a sand note and an oregano note. So it does have like this kind of cold, beachy, herbal smell to it, but still somehow manages to still smell a bit like light blue. Yeah, so I wasn't like blown away by it. I was like, it's perfectly nice. It just smells a bit like light blue. And then, of course, it dried down. Pure tar. Just smells like tar. Yeah. Now I can smell a slightly citrusy tar. That's what I'm getting from it. Oh dear. But the actual notes are top notes of lemon, sorbet and oregano, mid notes of sand, freesia and jasmine, base notes of musk, cypress and vetiver. So, I mean, yeah, it's a shame about the tarriness, because I do think the dry down is a little bit more interesting, because it's got the oregano in the top, but then it's got that cypress in the base. So yeah, I mean, if you don't get that tarry smell, if that doesn't bother you, then this could be, to be honest, a slightly nicer version maybe of the original D&G. But I always think, like, if you like the profile of light blue from Dolce & Gabbana, then I think the much nicer version of that profile is Eclat d'Arpège from Lanvin. It's very similar DNA to light blue, but it has a kind of lilac-y wisteria note in there, which I just find makes it a little bit less masculine smelling to me. It makes it a little bit more feminine, and it's particularly beautiful in the hot weather. And then if you even want to save even more money, then you can get Wave of Love from Larive, which is the dupe that I have of Eclat d'Arpège, and it's just so fabulous in hot weather. But yeah, I mean, like I said, if you like light bluey type things, but you want something that's maybe a little bit more herbal and interesting, and you can't smell that tarry smell, then Toy 2 Pearl, it's a perfectly okay scent. But for me, again, it's just too synthetic. It's just too chemically. It just isn't my jam. That, my darlings, I think is the end of this video. I'm hoping that I'm going to be less fussy this week coming up. Let's hope so. I had a very active, very busy week, my first week back at work. So, I mean, maybe I was just tired and headachy, and who even knows. But yeah, I didn't wear Mon Guerlain this week, and I was looking at it and like, I can't even believe it. But I've already worn, I think I've already worn 2 of my absolute classic favourites this weekend. So I'm back on my my BS with wearing my favourite perfumes again for a few days in a row. But let's see where the weather takes me and what my mood takes me in this coming week. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you've been wearing. Let me know if you've been fussy as well. Maybe it's just the new year. Maybe everyone's just like an absolute fuss pot at this time of year when it gets really cold. And, you know, the after Christmas kind of meh. So yeah, if you're not subscribed already and you like listening to me ramble on, then please do consider subscribing. It makes a massive difference to my channel. Thank you to everyone else who has already subscribed. I think you're wonderful and brilliant, and obviously you're a genius for subscribing to my channel. And like I said, let me know what you think about these. Let me know if you've had any like perfumes you've worn recently that you normally love and you just weren't into this week. Just let me know. All right, bye guys.